we've got some very important information that I can't wait to share with all of you. Welcome, everybody. I'm Coach Co. We are with Sports Cards Pro, and we're going to dive into the hottest sports cards of the last 7 days using the Sports Cards Pro app. As you can see, we've jumped onto the app. We're going to go into the tools feature. Now, I should mention before we get started on this video that the features that we are going to be talking about today are part of the premium features of this website. For just $6 a month, you get access to the feature that we're going to talk about today, as well as many other features. That being said, just for being on this video, just for taking the time to watch and listen, you are going to get access to the sales volume data feature absolutely for free. Let's dive into it. So, first off the bat, we've got basketball, and we got Kobe Bryant's number 181, relatively high on this list with 33 in terms of sales volume. Now, the volume in basketball is down a little bit. Why? Because baseball is approaching the playoffs, as well as the fact that the NFL season has just started. So you're going to see NFL volume tick way up. When the basketball season starts, you're probably going to see volume increase there as well. Kobe Bryant's rookie out of Fleer Metal. It's a nice looking card. This card got as high as $166 raw back in February of 2021. And this card is now sitting around $22. PSA 10s are running about $520. 9.5s, $247. A 9 will cost you $71. We're going to take the time to feature this new feature of the website. If you haven't checked out our other videos, then here you go. Even if you have, you get to look at some of this right now. The pop report feature tells you exactly how many of this card has been graded and in what grade. So PSA 10s, there's 719 of them. 9s, there's 3,793. 8s, 4,146, and so on and so forth. So you can use that information coupled with this data over the course of the last 2 years plus, in helping make your decisions on whether or not this is a card that you want to acquire. And if it is, do you want to buy it now or do you want to wait? Generally speaking, I would say when that card is down. Now, I mean, we had an astronomical run up over here, but you don't want to be talking about, or you don't want to be buying players when they're in the media. So just a little tidbit for you as we go into our next category, which is baseball. See that 7-day volume, crazy high in comparison to basketball. Okay, the top of the list in basketball is about 50 something. Corbin Carroll, 249 cards sold last week. This is his tops. This is his rookie card out of Tops. This card was going for about $2.70 back in June. As you see, after release, it eventually stabilizes, and now it's about $1. PSA 10s are about $24. 9.5s are $23. 9s are $10. This is a card I would not grade, in my honest opinion. We're going to go into our next category, which is football. We talked about volume in football as well. So volume is up by comparison to basketball. I think you're going to see volume increase even more than this in the coming weeks. But we have Deion Sanders relatively high on this list again, this time for his Panini scorecard. Last week was his Topps traded card. This situation is no different. Now, what I mean by that is the fact that Deion Sanders had made such an impact in college football in such a short amount of time. The Buffaloes are 2-0. They're going into a matchup with Colorado State this weekend. It is, I mean, these cards and Deion Sanders stuff in general seems like it's very hot right now. This card was trading for about $25 back in February of 2021. About a month ago, it was $7.61, and now you can see it's almost doubled. So as I said at the beginning of the video, when people are talking about a specific player or athlete, you're going to see a run up. Usually, at the very least, you'll see an increase in volume. And I will say that oftentimes that results in a correlating price increase as well. Hockey's up next. Usual suspects are still very high on this list. We have Arbor Xhekaj relatively high on this list. This is his rookie card. Now, I've mentioned this in previous videos. You'll find that the Canadian players, so players on Canadian teams, tend to sell much better than players on American teams. And that's because hockey tends to be a Canadian game. Now, that being said, a Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup in about 30 years. So I don't know how Canadian it is. But in terms of collectability, it's definitely more prevalent in Canada. I will say that Connor Bedard of the Chicago Blackhawks just got drafted last year, or a few months back, actually. He is projected to be the next great one. He's had a lot of hype, and I don't doubt that hockey might get a little bit of love, or more love rather, as a result of that. So stay tuned and continue to watch these videos to see what happens. PSA 10s of this card are going for about $82. 9.5s are $56. 9s are $36. So this is a card where if you buy this card raw, $13.70, you grade it for your $14. I mean, even if you get a 9, you're still up about $6, right? So I talked about this as well in other videos where you want to create a scenario where if you get the 9, you're not completely out to lunch. You know, this instance looks like a pretty good one. I mean, the best case scenario, you get a 10, $82, maybe a $30 buy-in, or you get a 9 and basically break even. So not too shabby there, my friends. Racing is next up on the list. Very new category. We still have Le Mans poster art gold very high on this list. We have a Charles Leclerc high on this list. 4 sales out of the 2021 Topps Chrome F1 series. I think a lot of people are building this set out, which is pretty cool, actually. I mean, I would say not a lot of people, but the people who collect this, I think, are going to be pretty serious collectors, and it seems like set collecting is going to be a big thing. So don't quote me on that. It's just something that I'm observing on the outside looking in. This card was selling for about $6.22 a few months ago. Latest sale was about $4.11. PSA 10s are not worth grading, as you can see. $10.85 for one of those. Okie dokie, my friends. Soccer is up next. Blaster Box, Hobby Box. Gavi's pretty high on this list, which I'm kind of shocked about. Let's go into Jude Bellingham's Topps Now Bundesliga. This is the first card to be released of Jude Bellingham. This card sold for $3.51, the all-time high back in January of 2022. I think this right around the time the card came out, and Jude was on absolute fire. He has since made a trip to Real Madrid, where some are discussing he is the greatest midfielder in the world right now. High praise for a 20-year-old. Probably why this card has increased in popularity. This PSA 10 is $36.58. The 9 is $17.26. As you can see, it doesn't really make much sense to grade this card. So if you're going to buy this card, or if you're attempting to grade this card, I would probably just buy it raw, truthfully. So something to look out for sure. UFC is next on this list. Sean Strickland, I wonder why, just had a massive upset against Izzy. 4 sales of this card is Panini Select UFC Disco Prism. This card was about $5.50 back in August of 2022. Got down to about $1, and it is up to about $5 again. So if you were one of these people accumulating at $1, I mean, that's a 5x right there. Not bad. ROI is very, very good for that, something like that. So like I said previously, I will continue to say until everyone starts to listen to me, and that is, if a guy is in the news, or a gal is in the news, you're probably going to see more volume. You're probably going to see an increase in price. If you want to own Sean Strickland, you got to wait till people stop talking about him. Okay, so right around here, people were not really talking about him. That's why it was essentially the price that it was. So I do not say that you've missed the boat on Sean Strickland. It's just to say that you want to try to be a little bit better with timing. The thing is, the reason why people buy in when everyone else is buying in is because it helps justify, an otherwise challenging decision to make on your own. Otherwise, you got to hold yourself accountable for buying at the low, and like maybe you'd be ridiculed because you're like, why would you buy that? These circumstances or whatever. But this is where your knowledge of whatever sport you're collecting really shines through. All right. Liv Morgan's silver out of 2023 Panini Select WWE Sensations. 7-day volume of 6, $10.77 is the price tag here. $8.50 it was about a month ago. It has increased about $2 or 25%. PSA 10s are about $68, $69 if you round up. 9.5s, $45.48, and a PSA 9 will cost you $23.43. Grading seems to be more and more dangerous these days. There's one thing to take away from that. It's from these charts. It's that if the card isn't a gem, it almost doesn't make sense to grade it unless you're just trying to authenticate or encase it, in which case it's not about money anymore. It's just about how you feel about your card. And that also should matter. But when it comes to the best ROI, unless you really know what you're doing when it comes to grading, it seems like it's becoming less and less favorable. So keep that in mind moving forward. Team, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the hottest sports cards of the week. As always, like, subscribe, comment, send this video to a friend who needs to be reaffirmed, not to send in base cards for grading. Do what you want, team. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Coach Co and Sports Cards Pro are out of here. Peace.